Okay, I'm going to read this next one. If you have kids around, you might not want to have them listen. Some younger kids might find this a bit terrifying. My breathing's not great. I have an inhaler, but I didn't bring it with me. The humidity here in the Philippines is pretty hefty right now, and it makes it difficult for me to breathe. I'm okay, so if you hear me wheezing, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm just tight in the chest, almost like something's pressed on me when I'm trying to inhale. But I've been through this before, and I'm going to be okay. So don't worry about me. Let's worry about this poor guy in this report here. This is the Halifax Herald in May 14, 1942 edition. This is about the Aunt Molly's Diner. Unusual disturbance at Aunt Molly's Diner. Witnesses report extraordinary rat occurrence. Authorities offer no explanation. A particular incident occurring Tuesday evening at the beloved local establishment known as Aunt Molly's Diner has left both patrons and authorities uncertain what exactly transpired. According to staff and several patrons, an unidentified traveler entered the diner shortly after 7 p.m. and immediately requested use of the rear curtain section commonly reserved for courting couples and private conversations. Witnesses described the individual as a pale man wearing a dark coat despite unusually warm weather. He didn't seem unfriendly, said the waitress, Miss Clara Bensley, just hurried, like a man who badly wanted to be left alone. When asked what he wished to order, the man reportedly answered, water and privacy. Miss Bensley reports that while the request felt unusual, the gentleman spoke politely and paid in advance. For approximately 1 hour, nothing further occurred. Then, according to nearly all witnesses present, strange noises began coming from the private section. At first, patrons assumed mice had entered the building. Mr. Walter Pruitt described the sound as tiny little squealing, almost musical. However, witnesses claimed the noise intensified rapidly until the diner was filled with one customer called 1,000 tiny voices singing something awful strange. This next part doesn't make sense to me. Maybe somebody in the audience here can read this and tell me maybe we're missing something, but there's something that doesn't quite match here. Before anyone could react, the front door reportedly burst inward. Multiple witnesses insist hundreds, possibly thousands of rats flooded into the establishment. Rather than scatter through the dining room, the animals reportedly ran with unusual purpose directly toward the curtained private area. Excuse me. Mrs. Evelyn Carter recalled, not one stopped for food. Not one looked at us. They knew exactly where they were headed. Now I'm going to pause right there just for a minute. See, there's a communication error there somehow, because they were talking about a noise of rats in the area where the guy already was, and now they're saying a bunch of rats just came bursting in the door, going to that area. So is there something already going on there with rats? And then more rats come in? There's a transition there where something's missing. But we're going to keep going. Witnesses described the curtain twisting and shaking violently for several moments. Several patrons reportedly fled. Others remained frozen in place. Curiously, after a short period of commotion, the rats exited the diner in near silence. No sounds followed. No voice emerged from the curtain room. No individual departed. After a prolonged period of uncertainty, authorities were contacted. Police have declined detailed comment beyond confirming an investigation occurred. No arrests have been made. The identity of the unknown visitor remains unknown. Editor's note: though this paper does not encourage rumor or superstition, readers are reminded that spring often drives rodents into unusual activity. Still, Aunt Molly has reportedly decided to keep the back curtains open for the time being. Now we're going to go to the police report and get a little more detail of what happened there. This is the Halifax Regis Police Department incident report. Case number HRPD 1942-0512-09. Date filed May 12, 1942. Responding officer, Officer H. Bell, Deputy M. Greeley. Okay, that's confusing the way they printed that too. Location, Aunt Molly's Diner. Classification, missing person, disturbance, animal incident. Status, unresolved. Official summary. Officers dispatched to Aunt Molly's Diner at approximately 8:34 following reports of extreme rodents, disturbance, and a possible injured individual located in the private dining section. Upon arrival, officers observed approximately 15 patrons standing outside the establishment. Multiple witnesses appeared visibly shaken. No rodents present upon the officer's arrival. Restaurant owner, Mrs. Molly Weaver, stated no person had entered or exited the rear curtain section since commencement of disturbance. Observations inside the establishment. Rear private seating area inspected at approximately 8:42 p.m. Curtains found partially twisted and displaced. Table overturned. Drinking glass present. Glass remained nearly full of water. No signs of struggle consistent with ordinary assault. No blood observed. No biological remains observed. No evidence of force existed. No holes in flooring, walls, or ceiling large enough to accommodate for the disappearance of an adult individual. The following items were recovered: a dark overcoat, one white undershirt, one pair of trousers, one belt, one pair of socks, one pair of shoes, one undergarment. All items found collapsed near the booth seating. Clothing appeared undamaged. Personal identification not located. Money absent. No hat recovered. Official bell notes. Clothes were arranged unusual. When asked to clarify, Officer Bell later amended his statement to read, possibly collapsed naturally. No further clarification provided. Witness testimonies. Here we go. The witnesses. Miss Clara Bensley, the waitress. He never ate. He never asked for nothing but water. Kept staring at the curtains like he was waiting for someone. Miss Bensley reported hearing low sounds from within the section prior to disturbance. Could not determine whether the individual was speaking to himself. That's contradictory too, right there, because she could see him. Apparently, he wanted privacy to pull the curtains so you couldn't see him. Like lovers go back there and they make out, and so she's saying she saw him. So I'm thinking that might be. I mean, if the incident really happened, then her witness, she might be one of those that really didn't see anything, and she wanted to believe she saw something. She wanted to be part of the witness list, so she's making stuff up. That's the only thing I can think of, because it doesn't make sense with the actual report. The report itself is kind of missing some information. Mrs. Molly Weaver, owner. I've seen rats. I've seen rats. Every diner has, but rats don't move like that. Those rats moved like church folk late for service. Mr. Edgar Tillman, a patron. Sounded like singing. Didn't sound human. Didn't sound like rats either. Additional note. While securing premises, Deputy Greeley reported hearing brief squealing sound originating from beneath floorboards near the private section. Inspection conducted, nothing located. At approximately 9:27 p.m., Officer Bell discovered a folded napkin beneath booth seating. Written upon it in faint pencil said, "Privacy appreciated." Handwriting could not be matched. No further evidence obtained. File remains open. That's it. That one was an interesting bit of information, but like I said, the report itself was missing a chunk of information right in the middle. It made this strange transition from noise behind the curtain that sounded kind of like rats, and then rats piling in the door. So I'm not sure how that works out. And there's a couple other small inconsistencies in there. It could be bad reporting, bad editing, or we're missing a chunk someplace in the middle. So I'm not sure what to make of that. And then the witness testimony, Miss Clara Bensley. Oh, not the waitress. No, the owner. No, not the owner. Well, whichever one. Oh yeah, the waitress. Okay, she says she saw the guy. Well, she might have actually seen him if you're talking about before the rats started making noises, because she was the waitress and she did go back and talk to him for a minute. So I guess that part could actually be okay. Anyway, that's my report. Next, what are we going to do next? I've got some headlines, some clippings, headlines. There's no stories with them. So there's a series of just clippings and headlines. We're going to read that next. And then maybe just a brief discussion on what I think they're about. And then that's about it. So we'll do that on our next session. But right now, I think we're done with this one. I think 12 minutes. Yeah, that's already way longer than I like. All right, over for now.